To Shamanic Sundays. Hi, Dad.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you.
Good
Thank
morning.
you,
Good to see you too. It was
everybody.
brought to my attention that me calling you Poppy, which is what we started calling you when the grandsons started calling you that folks may not know that I am your dad. I mean that you are my dad.
I didn't
so
know that
um,
either, but I'm glad
so
we're
I'm
getting enlightened this morning. You're my
glad
dad.
glad we are getting enlightened, and thank you for being my dad.
My
And
pleasure.
Nicole's dad. And part of what inspired Shamanic Sundays was our gratitude at having you as our dad and wanting to share you and your wisdom that you share with so many, with a bigger audience, and make you more easily accessible on a weekly basis. So that's where the idea for Shamanic Sundays came through. So thank you for being here, and thank you to all of our community out there who is joining us. We always love seeing where you're coming from and how you're doing. So feel free to add notes in the chat. And Dad, would you start us off with a prayer of gratitude for this morning?
Yeah, certainly. Just want to invite us to bring our awareness to the experience of being breathed. Just letting awareness notice, however you notice in your own sensual knowing, that we're being breathed. We are being breathed. Something larger than us, an energy force that knows how to create a universe and an earth and what's called the Goldilocks um, location so life can bloom to such beauty and diversity here in Mother Earth. We're being bloomed, or you might say we're being parented by those powers that create the universe and maintain it and send the life force into us. And so I want to say thank you to that mystery power, great mystery power that births life, that parents us, that grows us towards our learning about skillful practices to walk a heart path to completion. Thank you for our ancestors, where land where we live here, the Chumash people, remembering you. Good medicine to the ancestor spirits and the indigenous people of the lands where we live. Thank you for our communities. Thank you for our work, and thank you for, as strange as it may say, thank you for these challenging times because they help call us onto the mat, which is a martial arts term. They call us onto the mat to show up and go deep inside and face whatever's triggered inside of us by the challenging times that we're living in, and then asking with self-reflection, how can I create a response to the truth of it all in a way that opens the doorway to bring through fullest blossoming, greatest good? We're in the third or fourth night of Hanukkah here, and whether you're Jewish or not, the medicine of the miracle of lights has applicability for all life. Because don't we need miracles now for peace fire, for healing the wounds that lead to violence, and creating peaceful, nonviolent solutions that are win-win for all in the world, the kind of world we're capable of creating. So thank you, great mystery, and the sacred powers that come to us from all of the directions, above, below, around, and within the center, you, in which we're connected. Bringing us together here for Shamanic Sundays. Kimberly listening to her vision and knowing the technical know-how with Nicole backing up to bring us here together to open our minds, hearts, and spirits to whatever you want to bring through. Oh, Brios.
Thank you. I love that term from martial arts, that you're being called to the mat. I think that's such a cool expression. And Heather just shared that that's also a Pilates term, which I'd never even thought of it in those terms, but it is. And I love that too. And it makes me think of us. We are all being called to the Shamanic Sundays mat today. So grateful that we're all here. And I want to go to our question that came in this week. And the gist of it is about communication and how to let go of fear and ego to find truth, clarity, and behind that, a yearning, a feeling of being heard. So again, how to let go of fear and ego to find truth, clarity, and a feeling of being heard. And I think that's something that we all are challenged by at different times of not even the day, not even just our life, but the day, I would imagine. So thank you for that question. And turn the mic over to you, Dad.
Yeah, well, first thing is I'm still coming out of dealing with some COVID fatigue, and my brain's a little fuzzy, so I cannot remember all of the components of the question. So let me just initially respond to what my memory's holding on to, and then you can cue me on the rest of it that I missed when
Okay,
I'm
sounds good.
addressing what was asked for. So all of those things are you're wanting something, some quality of consciousness or being or energy, and that's a good thing because it kind of lightens up that you have an intention, you have a hope, you have a desire. Bring clarity to your intention. I'd like to experience more, or know more, or grow stronger with the truth and wisdom and peace and love and light. Uh, so remember, everything starts with intention. Just by getting in touch with those are qualities of consciousness and being that you're interested in. You're already kind of putting the energy of intention into the web, the cosmic web in which everything's connected. And if those are qualities that you want and to grow stronger and blossom fully toward realization of your highest potentials, that's going to take practices. That's going to take actions of focused attention in alignment with your intention. So that connects with listening to your own voice. You want to be heard. So the most important one for you to hear, besides spirit, is yourself, or maybe spirit in you. Most important relationship, which is 24/7, your relationship with your own mind and spirit, and in relationship to the cosmic consciousness that we're embedded in and of the universe, and that's within us. So in this life, there's many challenges, as we all know, both internally, the wounds of our lives and the impacts of those wounds, and how we've created stories about them and relationship with them that might be closing our hearts in some ways to ourselves or others, or to the truth. There's infinite possibility here in being in this life, in this world, and we don't know what's possible unless we show up and go for what our hearts call us. What that's the listening inside of you to what has deepest meaning and value in this life, and listening to what does it mean for me, I mean to you, all of us, what does it mean to live a successful life? And what does success mean? Does that mean material acquisition? Does that mean status and fame and all kinds of more and more things, fancy, expensive, wonderful things, and trips around the world? And what is success? Is it measured in materiality? Is it measured in outcomes of actions? What is success? So exploring in yourself, listening to yourself so your voice can be heard. You want your voice to be heard, you have to be clear about what it is, and you have to ground into it. You have to own it as your truth, and then try to hold it in a context of knowing and remembering and waking up. You're way more than your ego and its identity and its stories, way more than your physical body and it's what it carries around. You're way more of that. And so listening to your truths about what success means for you, and listening to inside yourself your own voice about what living in integrity means to you, and not by anybody else's definitions or the dictionary or what other people have told you, but listening again. Start with listening to your own voice, honoring that there's a deeper wisdom inside of you that on the deepest levels knows what you don't know. It's connected with that infinite creative wisdom power of the universe. So developing, if you don't have them, finding, learning about, creating attunement practices, behaviors, actions that you can take every day in alignment with your intention to grow those qualities of consciousness. And I'm remembering you asked about fear also. And so fear is fear is not a bad thing. In fact, fear is a necessity to survive in life, to be able to pick up the information in dangerous situations and act appropriately. So those dangerous situations, be they person, place, or thing, don't wipe you out. It takes paying attention, and fear alerts us. It's an instantaneous reaction. We don't sit consciously choose to be fearful. It just happens. There's a stimulus of something that triggers a fear response. That's a life survival response in us. And if we didn't have it through the evolutionary billions of years leading to us, we wouldn't be here now. So fear is an energy state, and it's connected with concern about our life. And so when we experience fear, it's an opportunity to do some waking up, to use fear, the experience of fear, as an ally in waking up and wising up and remembering. Because usually fear is, if we examine it, at least in my examinations, has to do with my ego identity. My ego is frightened about something. It might be frightened about, can I do what I'm responsible to do? Am I good enough? Do I know how to do it? Can I do it skillfully or not? So fear, anxiety about what will people think? How will it show up? Will I make a fool of myself? Ego has its all of us have our own versions of ego. Fears, and on the deepest level, the fears of death, of our physical death, of our own mortality. So when fear comes up, you can like open the door to awareness and say, well, what am I most fearful of? And where is that coming from? And am I feeding it? Is there a story I'm telling myself that's feeding the fear? And is that what I want to be putting my energy and intention into? Is that what's going to be helping me grow those qualities of whatever they are? Compassion, strength, confidence, kindness, tenderness, generosity, whatever those qualities of consciousness and being we want to have. So to befriend our fear and our anxiety, instead of creating more stress by labeling or thinking or conceptualizing fear and anxiety, if I'm experiencing them as bad things, or I'm bad or weak or not healthy or strong enough or whatever, it's all part of being a human being. And the opportunity in experiencing those energy states that we label fear and anxiety are, as I said, opportunity for self-examination, self-exploration, and doing growth work. So befriending fear and anxiety and using them to help us to wake up. Remember, we're experiencing those fears and sensations, but it's not who we are. We're way more than that. And then that opens reflection and remembering the moreness of who I am than my ego and body identity. And opening up and connecting and attuning and communing with that more, that larger self, that connection with spirit, with the sacred mystery that creates and sustains life, and obviously wants us here, believes on us, wants us here because it's breathing the life force into us. So hallelujah, gratitude, pomperios. That's what comes up with initial response to what I remember to that question.
All right. Well, thank you, Dad. So everything the question from Carolig was about communication, and how to let go of fear and ego to find truth, clarity, and a feeling of being heard. And so I think everything you were talking about relates back to that, because it's first and foremost, when you're striving to communicate, it's about being clear within yourself, of listening to yourself, and then knowing what it is you're trying to get across, and then and then as you said, trying to remember that you're more than you think you are. So the fear and the ego don't need to play a role in that. It's more about opening up to your own wisdom, and then using your voice, and then keeping your heart open as you get back whatever the other person is saying, I would guess, because that can be another part in the communication where it can get clunky. Yes, Dad, would you like to communicate something with me
Yes, I would.
and with our community?
Yeah, thank you. It's important for me to say, in terms of my process and our process in doing this,
Yeah.
my understanding is is that through your agency, you bring us all together. You, Kimberly, bring us all together. Whoever the us is live now and who will be listening later, many people do
Mhm.
that. You're bringing us together and bringing your attention to me so I can kind of gather up the intention of all of us and then use that energy to take us to a higher level, to open a
Mhm.
door, bring through something that can be truly meaningful for us. So in that process, I just want to remind people that the most important thing is not anything I say. The most important thing is what it brings up for you, listening to your own voice. And so, in a way, Spirit's using, I surrendered myself to Spirit to say, use me to bring through whatever you want to bring through and don't have any attachment to what I'm saying or if people like it or understand it or whatever. Just bring it through. That's my job. And then your job, the listeners, is to see the truth of what it brings up for you. And then whatever that is, whatever it may be, um, there's power there, then there's medicine there, and it's in you. And then you can use that to help you grow and work your challenges in a way, including fear and anxiety, befriending them and using whatever comes your way. It's like an attitude of utilization. Whatever happens in my field today, in my body, my mind, my spirit, my relationships, whatever happens, I want to try to create a response and work with it skillfully to bring through more what I call sweet medicine, more kindness and tenderness and beauty and creativity and generosity and strength and courage, sweet medicine. And so that medicine can flow through us and flow out into the larger field, helping to feed the conditions that can bring about a ceasefire, a healing of violence, a healing of the roots of the wounds that lead to violence. And each of us makes a difference. And so the only question is what kind of difference do we choose to make? And that comes back to listening and hearing our own voice, our own integrity, and the courage to act on it. Yeah, courage to act on it. Oh,
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that cues us up quite perfectly, I think, for our visualization this week. Um, so, if you could lead us in a visualization about opening up to listen to our highest selves and to be vessels of clear communication so that we can bring forth more love and peace and sweet medicine for ourselves and the world.
wow, that was just sweet medicine. You saying all of those things, because as you were saying it, I'm feeling those energies. So just invite everybody to drop inside what's called some wisdom traditions, looks within place in the medicine wheel of indigenous peoples here in the land. Work of the West, introspection, and just bring the gift of our awareness to where we started, being breathed, just noticing that we're being breathed. And without us doing any work, just passively sitting in our chair or lying down or however you are, without us having to get up and make it happen, we can just open and receive the wave of chi, ki, kupuri, mana, life force energy, stardust flowing into us, flowing into our bodies made of stardust, energizing our bodies, strengthening our immune system, all the powers of physical and physiological and energetic functions that know how to heal and restore health and wellness and grow high level wellness and grow high level wellness and activating the codes embedded in us for billions of years of evolution. You might say parented into us by the universe, the codes that carry wisdom teachings that when cultivated consciously, skillfully, can help us contain the information, the power, the guidance to help us live each day honoring our integrity, living as best we can in our humanness with compassionate embrace of our humanness, to live our deepest values in all our relations. Like Lakota people say, all my relations, we're all related. Aloha, the ancient word that means sacred unity. The universe is in us, and we're in the universe, and we have all we need through the help flowing in with every breath, the stardust that comes in every morning from the east with Father Sun, bringing the life force to Mother Earth, energizing, polishing up the stardust in our own bodies and those qualities that enable us, the sparks of divinity, raising the sparks of divinity, the seeds of our soul traits, the flowers of Wirikuta, the flowers of infinite unconditional light and love, deep inner peace that live at the center of our being, given to us all through grace. They help them to grow. The Kutsinakawe, great grandmother growth, growing us through practices that empower those wisdom codes embedded in us that give us the power, guidance to walk our heart paths to completion and to show up, to do our part, to help heal the sacred hoop, to walk in harmony and balance with joy in our hearts as channels for healing, light, and love out into the world. Healing of the sacred hoop. Prayers for peace in the world, peace in our hearts, peace for all people with justice, healing of the sacred hoop. May it be so. Oh, buenos dias. Good morning. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
I want to add a very useful phrase that I was taught years ago too. That when I am going into situations that require um, careful communication and possibly, knowing that there could be some charge to the situation. I remember the phrase, let love use you, let God use you, let love use me, let love use you. And,
Oh,
um, and just reminding myself that it's not about me, but it's about me showing up to be a vessel of positive communication and impact. So it helps me remember it's not about me. It's not about my ego. And I'm able to check my ego more at the door before I go into those situations. And it also makes me feel like I'm, like I've just got this strength behind me, because it's not about me. It's about love helping me propel whatever it is forward. So
oh,
I don't remember where I first heard that. It may be you that first taught me that saying, but who knows?
yeah.
But
Well,
happy to share that too.
ever since you started saying it, you stopped beating me up.
I know, right? We've made some progress in our relationship.
Thank you.
Just kidding, folks. All right. Well, thank you again for a wonderful start to our day here, and thank you for your sharings. And Caroline, thank you for your question. Remember, folks, you can always send questions in ahead of time to tompinkson@gmail.com, and we will try to get to them in our weekly Shamanic Sundays gatherings. Blessings to you in the week ahead. And anything else you want to add, Dad?
Besos. Kisses for all.
Yes, kisses for all. Mwah, mwah. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week, and please share. Take care. Bye.